Hey guys, it's Wild Thing here. We're doing some more Kerbal this morning while you wait for a Stellaris multiplayer game later this afternoon. And we're basically just going to be doing some pretty straightforward stuff here. A little build design, little probe launching, nothing too crazy. Just hanging out, having a good time. So see what kind of trouble we get into, shall we? First things first, we're looking at sending a probe out to Eve, kind of like we just did with um, Yuna the other day. Wow, that's aggressive. Maybe I'm hoping for something that can't be done. Better. Thought it was big. Oh, that departure date is really a year away. Wow. I guess I could load the probe up there and hope for the best, but pretty aggressive. It's probably because of the position of the planets, I imagine. That's already on its way. Look at maybe it's not the earlier planets. Maybe it's the farther away planets. Let's see. That's not get any worse than that. Hmm? Total delta V. Cow. Take an incredible amount to make that work, unless we wait about a year. So, I guess we're not going to be going out to the other. Oh, God, did I just close Kerbal by accident? Ah, my bad. Sorry about that, guys. So locked in on what I was looking at, didn't even pay attention to the fact that I was gonna dump Kerbal out there. So get it back up and running here. It's only going to take forever for it to load. That's okay. Oh man, to accidentally exit out of the program that takes solid like 3 minutes to load. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What's up, Walnut Dragon? How much is this game? I have owned it for such a long time. I will need to look it up. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here while it's loading. Kerbal Space Program. Actually, I know that there's a Humble bundle for I think $12. It looks like. So Steam, it's like $40 on Steam. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but let me link out the Humble Bundle. Wow, I cannot speak for the life of me here. This here, Humble Bundle. Oh, no, it's their monthly subscription. Yes, I'm on PC. So it looks like it would be $40 for the game on Steam. I'm not sure on Xbox though. I imagine if it is on Xbox, because someone had mentioned the other day that they were on it, then it's probably in the Microsoft Store as well. Sure enough, it's not. Well, I'm on PC, and it's about $40 for the base game. Pretty worthwhile, I think. All right, man.
User joined your channel.
Hey, what's up, Slowy? How you
going
doing,
on?
brother?
Pretty good.
Just playing some Kerbal.
Cool.
How you liking Far Cry 5?
I like it. I like
That's
it a
pretty
lot.
Did you get a new headset?
No, same headset.
Doesn't sound bad. It was just sounded different. Like less background noise is what it sounds like, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, I am actually home alone, so there is actual less background noise.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Oh, it's 40 on Xbox as well? Now that makes sense, right? It's 40 on Steam, 40 on Xbox. Here. Had Sat1. Sat1. What am I going to build? Oh, well, I have a couple things I need to do. I need to make a better lander, which was probably one of the first things I was going to do, was rebuild the current lander I use with some of the newer technology I have built in now to the game. Is it this guy who my current lander? Yeah. This is the current lander I'm using to go down to both Mun and Minmus. It does the job pretty well, but there are some items, specifically I use universal storage, and now I have a whole sorts of universal storage versions of the same science kits that are in this big storage container. So I kind of want to like remove this, install these, and just try to like better maximize the space I have and potentially reduce the overall weight of this thing a little if I can. Fix where these solar panels are because their current positioning is horrible. It doesn't work really well for this lander. So those are the things we're going to work on. Gonna call this advanced lander. I want to call it advanced lander. I feel like there are no earlier landers to call on here. Let's see what I archived. I called it. No, I think I was calling it Munlander. Yeah, you know what? We'll call it Advanced Lander too. That's fine. I'm not doing anything special today. So we're gonna tag it with a couple things here though. Advanced Lander 2. Call it a lander. Prototype lander. Alright, good. Done. See how we can make this thing better here, shall we? It would be nice if I could actually send my Kerbals through. Pass when surface attached. It says pass when surface attached, but I think I've got this wrong. Right. Connected lip. Are you going to make something later that will go to the moon or Mars? I have a vessel right now that I could bring up and do a min-mus landing. So I'm thinking I'll finish rebuilding this lander, and then I will basically launch it and bring it out to Minmus and land it. I could land it on Mun, but I've done most of the science on Mun, so this would be to Minmus. As far as Mars or Duna, we actually have a probe on its way right now, so he is got about 2 days Kerbal time until it leaves Kerbin's sphere of influence. Min Mus, not Min Musk. Sorry, which that could have been autocorrect. So here, let me show you. Come out of that for a second. Go to our tracking center. Show you what active flights we have going on right now. So last night, by last night I mean 5:30 this morning. Good afternoon, Nikki. How's it going? We launched the Duna Probe 1, which is on an escape trajectory from Kerbin. It will escape Kerbin's sphere of influence in 2 days, and then it has, if I'm not mistaken, here we can fly it, look at it real time here. Okay. So it's on its way out to Duna right now. So it's got about 2 days until it leaves Kerbin's sphere of influence, and then another 307 days until it gets to Duna's sphere of influence. No, Dickie, I did not keep Deck up that late. He went to bed way earlier than I did. Min Mus is this guy right out here. It's the second of the moons around Kerbin. So we have the Mun, or the moon, and then we have Min Mus. And actually, in Min Mus, we have there's actually a lander already out there. Will that take a long time? Yes. Well, yes and no, right? It's 307 days, but as an example, we're at 1 year and 165 days in the game. We've only maybe been in this playthrough for a little over a week. So we can time warp and speed time up pretty aggressively, which we are going to do, but like as an example, the Minmus trip takes something in the neighborhood of like 30 to 45 days to go out to Minmus, land, and come back and do all of the stuff I need to do. So we sent the Duna probe out so that way we could do other things instead of just basically hitting fast forward and say, okay, let's fast forward 307 days and see what happens. So we'll probably go to Minmus once or twice. We'll build out our space station a little more. We have some new comm satellites we want to put up. And then after all of that fun and exciting stuff, we'll be back on Duna. Walnut Dragon, thank you for the follow on Mixer. I do appreciate it. Let's go here. Take a look at this lander. Focus was to change out a lander. Looking at the time, yeah, we'll give it a try. I think I can fix this lander in, well, I say fix. Not really fixing the lander because the lander's not broken. Just not using all of the cool parts that I have unlocked in science. So that's what our focus right now is. And also to figure out why I cannot pass through these two surfaces. Unless it might be the orbiter. I might be thinking about this wrong. Might be having a problem with my orbiter. Command 1 not allowing me to oh, that's fine. Not allowing me to have people pass through this the clamp butron up here. I thought the issue was pretty straightforward, but I actually don't think. And see, it shows command pod there. I'm not really sure why that is. Have me click through. I don't want that. Maybe that's the problem. That might have been the problem. Anyway, this is command 1. Command 1 is not getting rebuilt because command 1 was rebuilt a while ago to do exactly what I needed it to do. Let's go back to lander quick. Okay, lander 2, load that bad boy up. Here we go. We're going to rebuild lander 2 real quick. We're going to take these lights out. Since we installed new plugin, better lights, put those up there. We're gonna okay, better. Lights in there. Move this out, and we're going to add, where's utility? We're going to add, I think it's the hex. It's probably the hex, right? True, cave, passable, awesome. Okay. Nope. No, it's probably the octagon. The octagon. We're gonna check real quick. So we're gonna install probably every single. Oh, perfect. So accelerometer and gravity sensors. What else we got here? Solar particle collector. I feel like I'm not going to use that, but I'm going to put it in because it's available. This is the asteroid scanner. Definitely don't need that. Atmospheric sensor, yes, because we're going to be landing. Atmospheric sensor. Magnetometer. Goo containment. That one we're going to put somewhere where I can easily access it. The antenna. Oh. Okay. I need another octagon storage unit. And we'll put antenna in. Science Junior is going to go here. Okay, Science Junior, Gorsak can go here. Spectral. A lot of these don't matter where I put them, mostly because none of them require resetting. The only ones that really matter right now are Mysterious Goo, because it can't be rerun, so it has to be reset. What was the other one? And the Science Junior. Can't be rerun, has to be reset. So I want to put them as close to the ladder as possible, so it makes my my EVA just a little easier. Not that we can't do EVA, just a pain in the butt sometimes, to be honest with you. So, Nugget, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Right, and the orbital scope. Right. So now these open spots, what we're going to do is we're going to put, instead of having these 4 mono propellants on the sides of the ship, we are going to grab the mono propellant universal storage tanks and install those. So it's nice sleek approach here. Boom, look at that. Leave the fairing on, no big deal. That thing gives us the ability, and hopefully it gives us a good ability, to install some handrails. Where are they? There we go. Go. So now we have to double check what science we didn't get. So we got those. Seismic Double C seismic accelerometer. Okay, that come in. Yes, it did. Seismic data. Seismic data. Okay, we got that. Don't need that. Hydrogen data, science, detect hydrogen molecules within, specifically searching for water. I don't know if this will work on anything but asteroids. Remember. That's there. Okay, I see DM asteroids. See, this actually probably would be good to have. So we're going to throw it on there real quick. We'll see if we use it in a second. Don't need that antenna anymore. We don't need this anymore. Okay. So we have that. Don't need it. Surface analyzer, X-ray data. I don't think we have the surface analyzer in any of these. If I'm not mistaken. It's not something that's unlocked yet in a universal storage sense. No. That guy, we're just gonna leave him up there for now. Or samples. Science expense. Settable. Okay. That one has to come back. Surface. This. Say that one's already here somewhere. That's one already here. Soil moisture. Oh, that is definitely not here. Okay, so we need that one. Well, I have that. Don't need that. Surface scanning module. I guess it doesn't technically hurt to put it on here. It's scan when I land on the ground there. Oh, I already have this. This is Observe Materials Bay, and that's this guy right here. Science Shooter 9001. Okay, we don't need it. Yeah, we're gonna put one of these bad boys on here. Solar particle collector. I think it's already part of our science package down here somewhere. Somewhere. There it is. Orbital telescope's already there. Seismic impact hammer. Leave those for now. This is terrain and biome, but I think this already offers. That already also offers terrain. One already offers biome. For scanning purposes. Gotta see which one it is. Yeah. One already offers. And its resources. 250, 200. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to have it on there. That's the altitude one. And then there is one more. Problem is this thing is super excessive. I can't put that out there. That is just not going to happen. Connected living spaces, science container. Oh, it's part of the other science package that I have that we don't really use. Too big. Too big. And completely unnecessary. Atmospheric analysis. Don't I already have one of those? Let's see. Welcome back, Walnut. Atmospheric sensor. Already does it. Atmospheric sensor logs atmospheric data. Run atmosphere analysis. Okay, that's different. Let's see. It's interesting. Okay. I think we're gonna do that one too. So let's see. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Nope. Nope. Then have it on there. Don't need it. So take off. Oh no. That off. Something tells me we're going to want to put something a little different here. So, supplies is kind of excessive because we just don't need that type of supplies. Oh, I could tweak this size, can I? Size. 21 days battery. I think we're going to be okay. Nope. We are going to do ones. We're going to do the long ones instead of the... Well, let's think about this. Do I have to do the long work? Just that this landing stabilizer is kind of not in an ideal position. If I did these, that might work better. Yeah, I like that more. Like taking legs off and everything. Everything I touch seems to want to like snap onto my damn mouse right now. Ay, ay, ay. That probably works. We can use handrails for the rest here. Oh, no, no, I didn't do that. Handrail. Go. That should work. But if you have to put more solar panels, I don't think I have to put any more solar panels. This guy has flown before and he has had pretty good success as far as power is concerned. The issue was that the solar panels, when they were placed on the top of these fuel tanks, couldn't orient themselves properly when the vessel was in flight, and so it ended up blocking a lot of the potential. So these longer panels should solve a lot of that problem, and we don't really do a lot of transmitting from this thing, so we don't necessarily have that much of an issue, but honestly, we probably could transmit from it in the newer setup that we have. All right, so let's just look at this science real quick. Or it could go horribly wrong. Okay, so this is usable. It requires no reset. This one requires a reset, though. I didn't realize that. I guess I have to work on that. Cleanup requires electric charge. It's resettable, not rerunnable. Same thing with that. So we have that guy, that guy, that guy, right? Two right here. That guy there. That guy there. Right there. That. Sorts of good science. All built in there. I don't think... Oh, no. Dude. I mean, I just broke it. Oh, I just totally broke it. Alright, well. Guess we're fixing it. Let me think about this for a second. Completely remove that. this from a different perspective. Other structural options available. Will you run out of fuel? No, I shouldn't run out of fuel. I only need about 800 meters per second of change to land on Minmus, so which is the further out moon. On the regular moon, I think it's something like 14 to 1500 meters per second. So this guy will have somewhere in the neighborhood of like 22 to 2500 meters per second of change. Actually, with this engine alone, you can kind of see like I don't even need the further out. Like I just removed that whole leg section, and actually we're in a good place. I don't actually need those other engines if I don't want to use them. Just not sure if I don't want to use them or not. I'm trying to think what else would be there. There was the fuel, there was the legs, there's the stabilizers, and there were science experiments. Science experiments are easy. I mean, geez, they can just go, I can just pop those right here. Something like this. Like that. Add this guy. And it was that one, that one, that one, and this guy right here. So short of fixing the leg situation, which we're going to do right now, actually, legs worked out quite well. Ah, look at that. Yay. Will the other engines make you go faster? Yeah, so, yes. In the original version of this lander like 1, I didn't have I didn't have this, I didn't have the Poodle engine, the RE-L10. All I had was access to were the LV-909s, and so their maximum capacity in vacuum is 60 kilonewtons, right? So this guy has 250. So originally I had 5 of those engines on here to give me roughly the same amount, but I don't really need that because like this guy's thrust to weight ratio is 1.36. So let's just take a look. In Mun, right? If we're talking about in like landing on Mun, thrust to rate ratio is 8, which means he can produce 8 times the amount of thrust in comparison to his weight. So clearly enough, on Minmus, thrust to rate ratio is 27. So we really don't need more engines unless we're going to make this thing like wicked heavier, which we are not going to make it that much heavier. We're gonna. I don't think we're gonna add any more. I don't think we really need to add more. More thrust to it. Pretty sure about that. The fuel's a little low, but I think I've kind of realized that from a fuel standpoint, I'm overkilling it on the fuel. I don't need that much fuel to do what I need to do. I have plenty of monopropellant. I've got 9 days worth of supplies on the vessel for that's for that's for 2 Kerbin. So they have 9 days of supplies, right? Hey Warbot, go to space. All right, yeah, we're actually almost done with this lander, so we're in the final stages here, just wrapping up this lander's upgrades, and then I will absolutely do a launch to space here in just a second. I like where that's going, but not sure I have a better choice. Tracking those and those action groups. Select those. Make sure we have enough lights on this bad boy. Alright, so we fixed all that. We've adjusted where those are. We have our RCS, monopropellant, we have solar panels, we have our single engine, we have our legs, we have all of our science. It is lighter than it was before, which is what we were originally hoping for. Not sure if I want additional fuel on this guy, and so I think what I'm going to do is just in the interest of having it, in case I do want it, I think I'm going to put that boy. No, it's a horrible idea. A horrible idea because if I try to land this thing, center of gravity, it's going to be all over the place, and it's going to be near impossible to land this thing without having a serious issue. So. I think this thing's ready to go. Put that fuel thing on the tippy top. I could, but then the problem might be that I can't actually get in if it's full. And honestly, I don't really use it. Like, I know that I had it there on my earlier lander. Yeah, well, you know, complicated is a thing, right? But we're done with this. We don't have to do anything else on this guy. This is the new and improved version of what I was trying to accomplish. So we will we'll launch it. I'll launch it. See how well it works. Put a couple more solar panels on just because why not? All right. All right, so we're going to save that. Let's find where we launched this last one. So it was... is this guy? Advanced Orbiter 1B with lander. Okay. Orbit. Oh, this one was... Not bad. Not done. Man 1 with that guy. Maybe. Man 1. Alright. Don't save that guy. This is command 1, which is what we've been using for pretty much all of our missions now. Well, it's command 1 with lander. Final ship. Orbit. Lander. Oh. Okay. What's up, wire guns? That's space now. Well, should happen very shortly now. We are going to get started as we speak. Not that one. That one. Merge, advanced lander 2. Save that. In the sky. Reroutes from there to there. Leave it. That guy. Merge in this guy. Connect them at the bottom like that. Oh, it's gonna be a very big ship. Not gonna work quite as well as I was hoping, but hope it doesn't blow up when we take off. Perfect. Payload. I think we can use that one. This one. I accidentally left my Kerbals on the Mun, so no other Kerbals get inside now. All right. Very tall ship. What am I doing? I am building a rocket out right now so that I can launch it into space. So I've added the command module, which is where the Kerbals will basically do most of their work. I've added the lander, which is now what we're bringing back up and going to land on Minmus. And now I'm building in the mid stages of this rocket, so that way I can launch it and get up into orbit and out to Minmus with I don't want to say no issues, but let's just say minimal issues. But full mono. Rack is it? Ah, whatever. I want that I can scale and just deal with it that way. There we go. Okay, engine. Nope. Nope. Oh. Guess that will work. It's a little aggressive, but oh yeah. Guy has 340 and 50. Better. That's not better at all. The thrust to rate ratio is garbage. It'll probably do this. That'll probably do the trick for what we need to do. So put some TS on this bad boy. Small. Oh yeah, we'll have the most powerful engine. We'll actually have a whole nother stage to deal with right here. You'll see in a second. As soon as I finish putting the finishing touches on this module here real quick. Oh, you know what I didn't put on this lander? That thing. That's fine. That works. A little bit of power, a little bit of solar, and good. Looking good. Anything else I need for this? I'm not going to use monopropellant on this because I don't need to do any sort of docking with this thing. All right. All right. 30. How's it going, TJ? 30k kilograms. It won't work. Oh yeah. Well, stand by. Stand by for more. Okay. Next. Dude, next stage. Next stage. Well, I think I'll build this thing out manually. I have a lifter that I usually use, but I don't think I really want to use that lifter for this particular mission, so. How many? Yeah, sorry, I was talking to my wife. She walked in. Much as you guys want to hear about the inner details of food shopping, I will probably have. The only reason why I'd put more on this, aside from the fact that the rocket is just extremely long, which I'm not a big fan of, would be to get more fuel up there. So I think I'm gonna do it just based on the fact that I don't like how large um, how long the rocket is. It's gonna be a little hard with like where the center of mass is. So after we put some SAS here uh, on this lower stage, we're gonna put some additional liquid fueled engines on here that we could tear off as we're going up. Yeah, so some couplers here. See? Two? Ah, come on. Fill these up a little. Move tool. There we go. Stages. Is in the thin. You need thicker or will bend and break whenever it is in space. This will probably work. I mean, this is obviously the possible pain point, but honestly, it's just the protective shell. So, our previous launches have been pretty successful with what we've been building out here. So, I think this lifter has similar potential. And we're gonna find out, obviously. Where are these guys? Twin bores. Guys will kick off. All right, then we'll do these guys. What the? Stop. This real quick. Perfect. Okay, so that's all 5 of these. I can't hear you. You are lagging. I don't know if I'm lagging. Stream stats seem to suggest I've got pretty good response to both services. Aggressive, unnecessary, probably better. They have mono. Okay, well, not there at all. Let's see. Better. Once we fix some of the staging here, we'll be in a pretty good place. Stand by for that. Let's just cap these guys off real quick. Some dome action. All right, fuel lines. Can you repeat the thing about how thin it is? Well, I think the concern would be the thinness right here, right? Like we have the protective shell and it kind of like pinches right here. In previous vessels, what I was doing was I left this, built a stage that was, I think, 2.5 meters, and then broke out to 3.75 meters, which just didn't work. So this vessel now, it's pretty much as thick as it can be up into this one point. But I don't think that will be an issue because, well, you know what? I hope it's not going to be an issue, but it could be an issue. We might have bigger problems as we go up, but it's not as long as my other rockets, so I'm not sure it's going to be an issue. We're going to find out, though. All right, so these guys will fuel those guys. These guys will fuel that guy. So now what happens is they all kick off. First boosters tear off when they run out of fuel. Then these tear off when they run out of fuel. Break that off, go down here. That gives us 6,000 meters per second of overall change, which is probably arguably overkill when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. But that's okay. Overkill's not the end of the world. So we'll put some couplers on this bad boy. I'm not sure I need struts at this point, because I think these guys should be okay. Nothing else really needs to be strutted. We should put some wings on here just to give us a little bit of help with aerodynamics. I kind of like these tail fins. Stop it, editor. Come on. Work with me here. Work with me. Let's see. Oh, I see. Brought it all the way up to there. I just don't want the wings to be on there like that, to be honest with you. I think that's going to be fine. Only need a little bit. Probably doesn't need as much as I'm even thinking it needs. Okay, so. Oh, sorry. One last thing, and then we're good to go. I promise. Engines. We need to deal with some staging issues, because sometimes these rockets will not do quite as well with the whole getting away from the vessel as I would like them to get away. Then we end up with a situation where we are like basically blowing up pieces of the rocket because of staging. So we'll stage some super small solid state rockets on here to help with these guys breaking away when we stage them, so we don't cause major issues here. Okay, as far as crew is concerned, we're gonna bring up, oh, Jebediah still at that space station. Okay, we'll bring up these guys. Their supply situation look like 75 days of supplies, 14 days of batteries, and 232 days of habitation. More than enough for what we've got going on here. So let's see. I think we're at a state where we can launch this bad boy. So we're at command 1 with lander final. Yep. So let's see. We've got 2.5, 2.4, 1.6, somewhere between stages 9 and 7. Okay, so when we break this guy off here and kick this guy on, we'll be in orbit. Should be out of Kerbin's atmosphere and about to enter into orbit. The Rhino liquid fuel, let's just double check this guy. What's his atmospheric ratings, just in case we are in the atmosphere? Where's the Rhino? Rack is the Rhino. We just had it there 5 seconds ago. I'm sure it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Launch it, launch it, launch it. All right. Heard and received. Time to launch it. Let's bring up the new lander. See how it runs. See if this launch works properly. That's the real question. Okay. This thing's actually going to probably do just fine. Now, that being said, yes. Mech jab. Mech jab, mech jab, mech jab. Let's see. Going out to Minmus. Set as target. Target. 2 hours and 9 minutes. Alright, mech jab. We'll let you do this. Why not? We'll let mech jab do this launch for us. Not the end of the world. Stop at stage 7. Alright, let's go. If it doesn't work, do I have to rebuild the entire thing? No. No, I do not. If it doesn't work, I will, it'll be okay if it does not work. It'll just basically, I'll go back to, well, I won't revert it, but I'd have to launch it again. So I do have flight reversion on, so like if I had like a serious issue I could revert. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't have to, because I mean, somewhere in these stages is the ability for the command module to be removed with parachutes to land. So like worst case scenario, we would just be dealing with that. Oh, right. Yeah, some struts might have helped. You can kind of tell the engines look like they're pushing out just slightly. Not the end of the world. It won't hurt them that bad, but it doesn't look quite as, not quite NASA approved. Okay though. All right. First stage is going to be being disengaged in under 10 seconds now. Two seconds. 1, 0. Stage disengaged. There were solid rocket boosters to help pull that stage away. Okay, next stage is under 20 seconds. 17, 16, 15, and counting. Ten seconds. Five seconds. Next stage is lost fuel. disengaged. 50 seconds to the next stage's disengage. Our Apo is at 40 and rising. Probably going to lose this lower stage before we're completely done with our ascent. And that's okay. That's not the end of the world. Target altitude is 200 kilometers. It did not bend and break. And I think a lot of that comes to the fact that this middle section is the same size as the back section. And I put enough reaction wheels so that a lot of its maneuvering can be done in a way that doesn't cause this front section to kind of like wobble back and forth. And we use some wings on the lower stage to help us in the atmosphere to move us, to help us redirect ourselves. All right, so this stage is going to come off. Thrust to weight ratio is still pretty good. And we are cooking. Our ISP out here. I thought I had ISP. I guess I can just right click on this guy. 340, not bad, not bad. Now it's going really, really fast. Yeah, absolutely, Walnut. It is absolutely. She's cooking now. Trying to get up to 200,000 on our Apo before we circularize, and then we'll work on a translation out to Minmus. Can you make a jet after? Oh, I am not good with space planes. I could try, but I am very, very subpar in the space plane department. All right, so 205 meters per second to circularize. That's perfect. What we're gonna do is while it's doing that, we're gonna deploy that. Kick some lights on. Here we go. Nice. Should be a quick circularize. Practice makes perfect. The problem actually is not so much that I make poor space planes, which I do make poor space planes, but I also don't have all the science for the better space planes because I've been focusing my science on space exploration. Oh my lord. That is no good. Oh, holy Hannah. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Okay. All right. All right. Relax. What is going on here? You see that? Thing almost ripped itself apart because of its reaction wheels up here. Might not be able to turn off. We're gonna try. I really need to have an action menu for that, huh? Oof. That was dangerous right there. That thing was about to rip itself apart. It's okay. We stopped the maneuvering, so we're okay. But I do have to come up. I do have to get this try to get these reaction wheels disabled if I can. Problem is these ones that sit on the outside, they're like super hard to click on, right? Because they're the way they're angled. So it's like I have to angle my view in just a way to be able to like see them, hit them, click on them. That might be enough. Let's see. See what that does. Will it do it again? I don't think it will. I shut down the reaction wheels on the back and in the front, and I shut off the gimbal of the engine, which is acting as another reaction wheel. So now that I just went to prograde, it didn't do it again. So I think the problem was just that we had a lot of force being generated on the outsides and not on the inside. Well, really a lot of force across the board, and all I really needed was force on the inside here to help with the turn, not on these outserts anymore. So I muted myself? I don't know if I'm muted. At least I don't think I'm muted. Let me just double check. Well, stream mic says come through. Nikki, you still there? You hearing my my chat over there on the old Twitch? Or let's extend some solar panels. I only have 3 on there. That's right. That's all right. No big deal. All we really need is the 2 right now. Perfect. Right. So we're in orbit. What we're going to do is we're going to work on pulling fuel out of the lower stage and moving it into the upper stages where we actually... It's all good, Walnut, man. I want to make sure I don't have anything going wrong on my end. I was listening to Red also, but I heard you in the background. Oh, yeah, that's right. Red's is out there streaming it up. I think we're going to connect in a little while and play a little Stellaris. All right, so let's get this out. How much? Almost all of it. 417. The Delta V left in this bad boy. So what we can do is take a maneuver planner, transfer to target, create node. Oh, we have 417. So what we're going to do is we are going to make this maneuver a 417 maneuver to see where it brings us. Because we're not going to carry it with us. Perfect. Basically, it's a 420 maneuver. That's what it's going to be. Oh, I have multi-stream up right now. Oh, not multi-stream. I have the rare drop up. Right? This guy. Bad boy. Boop. Boom. Boop. Boom. Commands for the win. Commands for the win. This rare drop website, Nikki, seems like it's pretty new in the grand scheme of things. TJ, thank you for the follow on Mixer. I appreciate it. For some reason, my unified chat in my stream it will not work no matter what I do. Just is like not having it today. I have to change that. I'm gonna have to fix that. It's just not working properly. So thank God. Yep. And then when you start playing with red, haha. Oh wow. Can it do 3? That's pretty cool. What does that look like? Oh my Lanta. That's neat. Cool. It's awesome. Whoa. Ah, come on with that nonsense. Seriously? Alright. We're done with this back engine if it's going to keep causing these problems. Done with this back engine. How many screens do you have? I have dual monitors. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this manually. I think the problem is that we've got a lot going on here, and MechJav is just kicking the engines on the full speed and not really accounting for a handful of things. So, yeah, this thing's heavy. Got a lot of weight to it. Yep, that's exactly it. It's just too much thrust. Have a good night, Walnut on Mixer, and how's it going, Nugget on Twitch? Welcome to chat. You know what we're gonna do? I think we're just gonna get rid of this lower stage and do the rest of this the way it's supposed to be done. So let's just double check our fuel situation real quick. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about here like 209 delta V. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna decouple that node here. This actually, I didn't even need a decoupler. I'm not sure why I used it, but whatever. Should have just used a docking port. Okay, we're gonna tell this guy. Speed this up just a smidge. Alright, go retrograde. You're not at 200K? No, we are not, because we are going to be transitioning over to Minmus. So right now what I'm doing is I am going to I'm slowing this guy down so he can re-enter orbit. Not that I have to. Did you build your PC? Yes, I did build my own PC. Big fan of that particular activity. Does well. Can't complain. You know, I have to fix my monitors because my monitors are garbage, but I mean, the quality of my monitor in regards to like Kerbal Space Program as an example, not quite much as problem because it doesn't really matter, right? Like I'm not trying to play a first person shooter on this thing, but I do, and those are some issues, so I have to work on that. All right, so now we're gonna turn off these. See, I should have put a docking port on this. I don't know what I was thinking. Actually, I might be able to pull this off. I decouple here. Close that stage off. Don't need that. Docking. Target. Go from here. Let's call this command 1 since we're here. Doing it. Okay, turn on RCS and we're gonna slightly pull away so I can turn around. The spec command isn't working just because we couldn't get the spacing to work properly, Nikki, and so it's also like in the Twitch panel, so I figured it's just easier to see it there. But yeah, Nugget, I'm a big fan of building my own stuff. I like it. It's fun, right? All right, SAS. Do I not have an antenna on this thing? 100% have an antenna on this thing. Oh, are we in a position where we just don't have satellite? Really? It's weird. Huh. Okay. I'll turn off RCS, bring us back to target. We'll figure it out. Oh, that's right. I turned off reaction wheels to solve my launch problems. I'll probably never be able to click on this one again. I clicked on it like once during launch, somehow magically got it. I have to work on an action group for this. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay, now this guy telling me he has no control. No control whatsoever. Because he's not receiving radio signals. That's crazy. Palm 3 is not picking that up. Rack is going there. Huh. Things that make you go, hmm. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way then, huh? We're gonna have to bring us around to where the ship is instead of the opposite. So, let's get that started here, shall we? Guess I must have missed something when I built this vessel. I thought I had gotten everything, but for some reason, I guess I did not. Oh, I appreciate that, Walnut. Thank you very much for the compliment. Yeah, I totally must have missed something on this lander. I don't know why it doesn't have the ability to communicate. Might be able to send it. I can't even send it a remote command. Crazy. this would be so much easier if this lander would actually communicate, but it will not. Why? Oh man. All right. Let's just stop our match velocities with the target for a second. Stop our maneuvers before we go through all of our RCS trying to figure this out. We have almost no RCS left to be making these maneuvers. So you either got to figure out why this lander will not um, communicate, which may actually be a let's see. All right. Flight. All right, let's get some lights on and see what we can do about getting back to this target. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, let's see what we can do about getting back to where we need to be here. No crew control. I guess because the landing can does not have remote control capabilities, and mech jab did, and that's probably what the issue is that I had mech jab on here, which was fine. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, this lander is not going to do the job of what I need. It's really unfortunate. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to use that thing. So, let's see. I mean, I can get closer to it. That's for certain something I can do. But I gotta turn it. Actually, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I've got a plan. Got a plan. Oh, They burned through a ton of monopropellant though. We're gonna have to pull some off of that vessel. Lander is missing, I guess, mech jab. I wonder if I could bring up the radial attached command module. Might be doable. I might be able to bring it up and have Bill attach it to this so that this lander is not completely lost. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to get nice and close to this lander. Excuse me. Perfect. Shut down RCS. Valentina, sister, time for you to EVA. You, where are we at? Right above us. Valentina have lights on? Lights or something like that? I feel like she does, but I don't know what the EVA for lights is, so. Okay. But it was confiding. Ooh, ooh. Valentina. I wish I had lights on, honey. Oh, we're on the wrong side. Okay. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, nailed that. Woohoo! Alright, Valentina. Let's set this target. Control from here. Bring us to target. Stand by. Here. Not this one. Yes, bring us to target. Perfect. Okay. RCS disabled, SAS disabled. And we are docking. Finally. Jeez, that took forever and way too much monopropellant. Okay. Now. That hatch. Open that hatch. Manifest through man pod to lander can. Still preventing that? Come on. Wow. Wowie. Transfer. Bob. Crazy stuff, man. Definitely have something wrong with connected living spaces. I'm not sure why. But that's okay. Alright, so now that we've docked finally, maybe we can actually go do what we were going to do. Which is to go out to Minmos. Target. Maneuver plan. Transfer to target. Node. Man, it's starting near. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you want from me. I'll understand what you want. Can't give it to you. Perfect. Execute next node. So I need to bring up some sort of remote command module because I think I had MechJab built in previously and the module itself accepted remote commands. And now this new one has MechJab built into the landing can, but the landing can can't accept remote commands. At least that's what it seems like is the issue. It's operational. It's not like it doesn't have the ability to communicate. So I don't know. I don't know. But I don't want to lose the lander. I really would like to land this thing, right? I mean, we spent all this time actually making it work. Oh, Nugget dropping some specs in there on Twitch. What do we got? i5, not bad. I use the stock cooler as well for my I use a stock cooler for my processor? No, I don't. I do use a liquid cooler. But that's just to reduce some of the heat. 1070, nice. SSD all the way. Looks like you got a pretty decent setup there, Nugget. Oh, if I could transmit the data and get 100%, why wouldn't I do that? Close. Why? Awesome if it would just close. I will deal with it later. Close. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Progate. We got a pretty good setup here. My satellite, it's my Duna probe one. Oh yeah, he's about to head out there. Gravity scanning. Nice. Just collecting some science while we head out to Minmus. It's all about the science. I wish I had a science station up, to be honest with you. That would be nice. Oh, interesting. Wonder if it's because I've already. Yeah, screw it. We're just gonna. Fine. See what our Duna Probe 1 is doing. It's about to get to the 2-day mark here. If it's trip, if I'm not mistaken, which means it's going to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence in a moment. Let's see, how close are we to leave Kerbin's sphere? 1 day away, and this guy is. That's fine. Let's warp there. High in space. Over the sun. Nice. Alright, let's flip the let's turn SAS on. Let's radial in. Yeah, nice. Get some. We're gonna do some close proximity of the craft. Yeah, it's fine. We're doing some science here with our spectral analysis. Everything on this vessel is transmittable, settable, rerunnable. I'm sorry, transmittable, rerunnable. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run all of this ooey gooey science. We've got batteries for days on this thing. Right? We're going to finish transmitting the data here. Atmospheric pressure, that. That. Gravity scan. That. Nice. This thing is working a lot better than I expected. To be honest with you, we built this thing at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't really sure. Okay, well, we're not going to do that. Not going to do that. Not going to do that. All right, so all the scans I could do with this guy, I have done with this guy. I think the next time I can do anything with him will be in my approach to Duna. Seems like we might need to make possible alteration. Tough to say right now. One thing's for certain, it is 41 days from the Periapis, and it's 33 days here. And the idea is that we're not really, we're like close, but we're not close. I wonder if that's at this. Oh, that's definitely that. Okay, so we have a course correction to make in 30 days. After this, you should take a rover to Minmus. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I gotta work on building some good rovers. The current rovers are, I have a rover on Mun. Didn't make it. Okay, let's go to the tracking center. I'm under acceleration? Oh my gosh, I am under acceleration, aren't I? I didn't even realize that. Oh yeah, no wonder I was losing my Duna entry. What a dope. Add a maneuver here. Fine. Okay. Tracking center. Gotta go to the Minmus vehicle that we have going out there right now. Man, Mun should be like 5 days away or 4 days away from the from Minmus. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yep. That's where we are. We're gonna warp here. Minmus. I think it's that guy. I have no fracking idea where he is in the screen right now. There she be. Okay, so Minmus. Step numero uno. Add a maneuver. So crash into freaking Minmus. Yes. Yep. Okay. this node quick. Turning on habitation for these guys and girls, so they don't get all mad at me for being out in space for too long. So what we're gonna do for the rest of this stream, because I have a date with a Stellaris run, I am going to get this orbiter in I'm going to get this vessel in orbit of Minmus, and we will most likely circularize. So we're gonna put ourselves in orbit of Minmus. Actually, let's note execution for just a second. Maneuver, pick up this science particles. Okay. Now we'll execute the code. So yes, we're gonna get an orbit of Minmus, and then we're gonna pop over to Stellaris and start that multiplayer. All right, stop interrupting our warp, please. In orbit, we shall have, we will achieve. All right, so we have put our new lander in orbit, so we know that we probably have to deal with, just target real quick. So we know that we'll have to, is there a multiplayer in KSP, asks Nugget. No, it's a fair question to ask, and no, there is no built-in multiplayer. There is like a multiplayer plugin that you can get, but I'm not 100% sure how well that works. Should have put that damn mech jab on there. Oh. Okay, so the answer to your question is, Nugget, no, there is no multiplayer. There is a mod for multiplayer, but I am not 100% sure how well that mod works because I have never used it, and I just mostly because I'm not sure where the multiplayer would come in, other than if maybe you were trying like they do have some like military mods for KSP where you can make like missiles and rockets and fighter jets and all the other stuff. So I guess in there it could work, but I don't think that was KSP's like original intention for the game, which is probably why they don't have it as a stock thing. Okay, so doing a probe 1. It's got 33 days to go. Our lander is now at orbit. Command 1's in orbit. Ready to suck in a lot of great science. But we are going to pause here in the Kerbal arena, and we'll be looking at most likely Stellaris as our next little bundle of joy today. Let's see, are there maneuvers? Yeah, he's got a maneuver here. 26 days away. That's great. Only one with a maneuver. No one's in a retrograde orbit, so we are good. Everything is how it should be for right now. All right. So, oh yeah, I got 300 science just from that probe getting out into the influence of the sun. Gave us 300 science, which is awesome because that opens up large volume containments if I wanted to. That opens up possibly advanced aerodynamics. High altitude would be awesome. That's another one that we need when we're talking about space planes. Mentioned space planes. I need to unlock a handful of these. But I'm not going to buy anything with that science right now. I want to think about it and a little opportunity um, to think about it. So let's close out a KSP here real quick.